if it's okay with the board members, we'll jump around a little bit to stuff that we can cover without him being here if we can. Or if him can kind of maybe fill us in a little bit here and there. But before we start, since Jean is in the hospital, Scott advised me to read this to the board. This is regarding remote participation under the California Brown Act. Ground for remote participation since this was unexpected with him being in hospital. This is a just cause regarding childcare or caregiving, contagious illness, physical or mental disability, or official business travel. This may be used up to 2 times per member, and the member must notify the body at earliest opportunity. So if the board is okay with him participating from his hospital room, we can include him.
Motion to disapprove.
Kidding.
Just kidding.
Do we have to vote or just?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
By Ross, there a second? Second by Fred. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay. The next item is the approval of the agenda. Items 1 and 2. Motion to approve as presented. Motion by Director Clark. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Elliott. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carried.
Do it.
Oh.
With Gene on her.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, let's do the roll call again. Director Alconen,
I'm a yes.
Director Clark.
Yes.
Director Elliott.
Yes.
Director Parks.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm a yes. Thank you for the clarification. Item C is the public comment portion of the meeting. I don't see anybody from the public here. Spot yesterday's assistant. So on to item B, and that's the approval of the June 24th building and planning meeting. That's on pages 3 through 5.
Motion to approve.
Director Elliott motions to approve. Is there a second? Second by Director Clark. Okay. Director Elconen,
I'm a yes.
Director Clark.
Yes.
Director Elliott.
Yes.
Director Parks.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm a yes. Since Bob isn't here, do we want to just move to item K, which is just the invoices real quick? They seem very small amounts this month.
I personally did not have any questions on those two.
Okay.
We can motion as such, motion to act on it.
Yeah,
I didn't have questions either, and I'll second.
okay. Sorry,
Well,
Director Clark.
Yeah, I got a question.
Oh, okay, it's been seconded, but yes, go ahead and have a question, Gene.
Okay, when we first started out, I'm gonna go back 4 years. And the Greenbough proposed that 1.2 million to do what they were gonna do. I said, no, why would we do that in advance? We don't have the money. We don't have plans. We don't know what we're doing. Why would we spend that much money? And Tim said, oh, we're in stages. We're only going to do it as we do per stage and we'll get out of it. The next month they come up and says, well, we got to do them all at once. We got to go ahead and pay it all at once. We're still spending money on something that in all probability doesn't look like it can happen. When do we stop spending money on something, or when do we look at it?
These are, I mean, these are things that obviously we need to continue to do. I mean, this one here was an electrical upgrade. This is page 27. I'm looking at this one here. There's a change order for the acute care building.
It was to get the power out to the shop.
Correct. So this was an add-on to the original piece and stuff like that. So this is not a part of the drawings for the overall hospital. This was an add-on.
I was referring to the ones that are part of the.
Yeah, those have been spent already. Those have all been spent. So. And all paid for.
Okay, all right.
Nothing new there.
So, item K1 and 2, there's been a motion, there's been a second. there any other comment or discussion? Okay. We got a bunch here. Okay, Director O'Connor.
I'm a yes.
Director Clark.
Yes.
Director Elliott.
Yes.
Director Parks.
Yes,
Okay, and I'm a yes. So pass. Perfect.
Everything's already been approved, Bob.
Good. Way to go. We went ahead and did the invoices, we're seeing those out of the way.
Okay.
So we'll move back to item E on the agenda, which is the project update. So since Mr. Easterday is here, Bob, I'll leave it over to you, sir. Okay. And page 6 is the update.
Yeah, and no, we don't have a whole lot going, so there's not a lot of updating. We are on the schedule for Board of Supervisors August 5th. So if they bless it on that day, then the lady will push send on her grant application. So paperwork got done, all the documents been signed that are required for the county. Anyway, that's pretty much it on that. Yeah,
Bob, what's the chances of once that's approved, how does it look? Does it look like a 50-50 or a good chance or a maybe chance?
well, I have pretty good hopes from the standpoint that this is a grant cycle that nobody else is able to apply for yet. So they've only had the initial meetings on getting ready to start getting people to apply. So Cal OES is expediting our application as soon as it's in, because of all the issues that we've gone through and our deadline on our plans. And so, there's like 4 times as many dollars being asked for as there is in the grant. But in theory, I believe that we are going to be first in queue.
Do you anticipate any questions or things that might come up at the Board of Supervisors?
The last 2 times we've done this, I mean, they asked us a couple minor questions, we answered them, and they voted and approved it. So there was more questions up front from the supervisors. It's probably different people on there, but they were concerned about their liabilities and was there any costs that would be involved by them on management of the grant, and I explained to them how the grant is managed so that there really is nothing for them to do. It's simply they're applying on our behalf, and then if it's approved, there's nothing else they have to do.
So it sounds like you've done a great job. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, they were concerned about, well, what happens if we can't pay our 25% and this and that, or I said, well, at that point that the project stops. But I said, we have, and John sent them information that we have the money in the bank for our 25%. So they were fairly comfortable with that.
You guys attend the meeting?
Yes, absolutely. It's, I think, 2:00 in the afternoon or something like that, if I remember.
The afternoon session.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe they'll put it on consent. I won't have to worry about it.
Works for me. All right, so pharmacy. Things are progressing well. Holes are all cut in walls. A couple of little short walls that we needed to frame are framed. We have 3 little partial height walls that the workstations will back up to. That will probably be completed early next week. Then we get the relocated power and pull our data into those spots where the workstations will be. And then we start closing up the walls. And once the walls are closed up, carpet paint paint thin carpet, and it'll be pretty much ready. I mean, it all takes time. I mean, I know everybody wants to know a date. My biggest concern is that we've ordered cabinets in 2 batches because I had to get approval from the pharmacist and stuff. Batch of cabinets. We were told 4 weeks on the first batch, and it's been 5.5 weeks. We haven't received them yet. So that could be our one holdup. And these are specially built pharmacist cabinets. They're extra tall. They're for standing height. They have special types of bins to hold the little pill bottles and all those sorts of things. And it would take me longer to have them custom built and would cost more. So these are just a pre-manufactured metal cabinets, nothing fancy. So that's my biggest concern on because I can't guarantee when those are going to arrive.
Bob, what about parking?
Okay, so one of the projects I still have to work on is getting costs to asphalt the lot between us and the Red Rooster. So she's agreed. Obviously it's at our cost. The parking will be shared. She's busy on weekends. We're not so busy on weekends. So I think it'll work out fine. I think it'll give us plenty of parking. So it's moving along well. I'm just kind of guessing that we've got about 2 months to have it, hopefully, knock on wood, ready for Board of Pharmacy to take a look at.
I have a question I don't even want to say. Is that considered a gift of public funds since we're gifting her a paved parking lot?
Well, obviously, it's something we have to pass by Scott and make sure that things are done. It might require. Okay, so for instance, I'm also working on permanent emergency generators for the clinic and for the pharmacy, the new pharmacy building, which falls into this. And because Scott had let me know that Tehachapi Hospital had a couple of generators. So I contacted Tehachapi, and they do, and they want to get rid of them quite badly. And they're trailer mounts. They're not permanent set. But they're only 2 years old. They are slightly bigger than needed, but that's fine. We need like 150 kW and they're 250. So, and the really nice thing is it's got to go to their board, but they're talking about gifting us those generators. So that's in the, I'm just guessing offhand, but in the neighborhood of $150,000 generators that we may be gifted to have emergency power at both locations.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, obviously we have to draw plans, submit them to the county. We have to buy the transfer switches, and we got to pay contractors to wire it up. It's more than I can do in-house.
Who had a question about the fuel? Dave?
You said they're trailer mounted.
Yes. So they have what's
They
called a
diesel?
belly tank.
Correct.
Yes, like 100-gallon or 200-gallon belly
Diesel?
tank. Diesel. Yes. They are. There's no issue related to air pollution control district because here for a permanent mount generator, we're required to be tier 2. Our new generator for the hospital is what's called a tier 2 generator. Ones that are down in the valley have to be tier 4, much cleaner burning. These are tier 4s. There's no issue with air pollution.
Now, being that these are currently trailer mounted,
So there will be a couple of choices. I mean, that they could remain trailer mounted. So for instance, the trailer mount that we had out here for like a couple of years, when our generator died. I was required with Air Pollution Control District to license it as a permanently installed one, even though it still sat on wheels. Because if they sit in one location for more than a year, air pollution rules are you must make it a permanent installation. So they could either be made permanent and still sit on their wheels, or we could jack them up a little bit and take the axles off and set them down onto a concrete platform, bolt them down, and they would become permanent bolt down installations.
That's what I was wanting to know.
I'm working with the architect. I tried to get a response before this meeting as an answer for the dollar amount for the plans. There's a couple of things. They're trying to get an answer. Okay, so for instance, they sent me a preliminary drawing, and the challenge is that it makes more sense to move the one over at the clinic to a better location as far as parking in the back for staff. That puts it close to a property line. So the architect is trying to get an answer out of the county, which is taking some time, is to what are the requirements if it's like right at property line? Will we need to do a cement block wall around three sides of it, both for sound and for fire? They hadn't got an answer yet from the county. But the same issue happens over here at the admin building, because more than likely we would want to put it outside of the propane tank, kind of over against the property that belongs to Red Rooster Canvas or that we're going to pave and make parking lot. So again, it's technically at property line. So it might cost us a little more to do the cement block, because I had said I'm fine with chain link with slat cement so that it locks, et cetera. But they're trying to get me an answer on that, and they didn't want to commit to a price until they had an answer from the county. But my thing is
Safer with 6-inch round steel posts or a concrete block instead of someone driving into.
oh yeah, well, yeah, and there are companies that make chain link fence that is the heavy duty, and they have very large posts and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's all in the works. Obviously, that's going to take a little while, but
How big
temporary.
a diesel tank does it need, Bob? How big is-
100, what's on them, Gene?
I believe they have a 100-gallon tank on them. I didn't bring the spec with me to the meeting, but I believe they have 100-gallon. We are working on getting set up. Well, there's a couple of options. We're looking into a company from Bakersfield that will just drive up with a small truck and fill them for you whenever you need to. I mean, the amount of usage, we might have to do that once a year. The other option is to have a small tank in the back of the truck with a pump system, and we pull up and we transfer from our underground tank into that and take it, transfer it over there. I don't know the legalities on transporting and that sort of thing yet, but that's a possibility. Costs a little less per gallon, but again, how often are we going to need to fill these? If they have lots of PSPS events, it might be a little more often. But knock on wood, we had our first batch for the summer.
I guess I'll worry about it once we get the generator.
Yes.
So back to the question, was Gene asking a question about gifting the asphalt and stuff on the same parking lot?
That was a very good step. Now, I did talk to Scott about the gifting of generators to us. And there was a term he used that there's a process where the board just approves the gift and it's done. Right. He says it's done pretty regularly. So that's not an issue. But as far as us gifting asphalt to the neighbor's property, it will probably be something similar, but I haven't approached Scott on it.
I can't imagine it. Can it being a gift, because we're using that property, we're paving so that we could use it as parking.
Right, she needs the use of that.
But
She's gonna get she's gonna get a secondary benefit from it.
Exactly.
And there might be some legalities that have to be done related to insurance purposes or whatever, but I think should all be very easily resolved. But obviously we'll get Scott's input on that.
I hope it is fine. Just came to me because it's like, well, she will technically own that still. Like, we have no say. She can say, nope, anytime she
We
wants.
probably need some kind of lease or something from her.
Yeah.
And some sort of an agreement,
Yeah.
sort of a shared agreement or something, yeah. Other stuff has been a little higher priority than
Yeah.
resolving that
Yeah.
issue right now, but.
That's down the road.
That is the
Well,
goal.
because then I was thinking, she has customers that park over at the building, when it's busy on the weekends and stuff
Absolutely.
too, so,
They park in our-
yeah.
And they park on.
Just didn't hear an answer and I was trying to stay focused, sorry.
And the parking now at the pharmacy, people are parking out on the street. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to have this vacant lot right away.
Right.
Then there is more parking too. It's like building, if we push the employees
Yeah.
in the business office
Yeah,
over to
we
that side.
can request all the employees to park along the sides
Sure.
Or even on the
and,
street.
or on the street, and then the people coming to the pharmacy can use the lot.
Okay.
I don't see that as an issue because we're not going to be gaining a lot more people down there as far as, well, yes, we are. We're gaining both the pharmacy staff and the medical record staff.
Yeah.
So it'll
It'll be
double,
yeah.
about double what's currently parking there. Which will we'll probably do about 2/3 of the parking spaces. So that's why we'll need to, make arrangements. Kind of like the pharmacy does now, they're parking the dirt out back.
Is the parking in the very back of the building?
No, it's too close. It's too close to the alley. Now, we own the alley. Technically,
We could get a hold of that.
So,
That would be a parcel.
Yeah.
Gary just needs to drive up to our house.
Hey there.
Sign this.
We understand you have a piece of property we would like to have. Anyway, all right, so that's the status on the administration building. The move of medical records, I had promised her last week we would go down there and make a punch list of a few things we need to do. That got set aside due to other priorities, so we're gonna do that this week. And punch list out what we need to do to finish medical records and get them moved. And nothing's changed on the emergency generator. The drawings have gone back and forth. They went into HCI. HCI wasn't happy with them, kicked them back. So now we're getting ready to resubmit these seismic bracing drawings for 6 4-inch conduits hanging in the ceiling of the chiller room. That's my one holdup. And then they will do the last change order, which is running the power to the shop.
You use duct tape and baling wire.
Yep. As long as you get the right angle for bracing on the baling wire, you're good. I know. So it's taking forever. And it's just one of those frustrating things of sometimes closing a project just can drag on. And so as far as the seismic upgrade of dietary surgery in Central, which we talked about, we're only going to proceed with the seismic project of the acute care building. And so that's kind of moving forward slowly. The contractor gave us an estimate to draw the plans. But again, I'm not going to proceed jumping into that until we know that the seismic project is going to proceed. Because why else waste $12,000 on drawing plans if we're not going to proceed with the work? Hopefully, and there's timing is not of an issue because there's dates that we have to submit stuff. If it gets close to that date and we're still waiting on grant, that we may have to proceed with signing a contract to draw the plans. Anyway, that's where that's at. I wanted to step back to the pharmacy. So security. Talked about various things, and of course, everybody wants bars on the windows.
That's later on the agenda.
It's a separate line. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it's separate.
This isn't taking.
Yes, that's true. And all right, so sorry, so then the skilled nursing building reclassification. We need to draw some plans. The proposal is for $7,405 with a $3,000 structural, mechanical, electrical engineer placeholder if their work is needed. It's not a given that it's needed. So did we get that proposal?
It's also later on the agenda.
Okay. All right. So that's where we're at on the and no matter what, we need to reclassify that building. Even if we don't do the seismic, we need to reclassify that building because previous architect set it up wrong. And we don't want to get told down the road we got to spend a whole bunch of money on that building that we don't because it is skilled nursing. It is. Got submitted to Oshkosh HCI as acute care. Don't know why. Long before my time. All right, and then dietary is just, we got to wrap up this pharmacy. And it's all hands on deck on the pharmacy. And we'll hopefully get to working on these other projects.
There have been some safety issues recognized. I know you're dealing with those in the dietary. Some
Oh, yeah.
tile issues.
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
But
The,
that's not the cosmetic stuff.
right, it's not the cosmetic stuff. And so what it is the contractor, 1990, did properly prep the concrete when they laid the tile. So it keeps popping loose and bulging up. And so we have to saw cut the joints and take out tile and prep and lay tile again, usually in areas about 2 to 3 feet square. And that's the ongoing safety thing that we've been dealing with for a couple of years. All right, any questions?
No.
Thank you, Bob. Move to item F, and this is the fire sprinklers design services proposal. It's on page 7.
I was referring to. So this is, I mean, I would be okay if you want to say, yes, we will do this once we can hold off on awarding the contract until we really know if this whole seismic thing is going to go forward. Because this is that thing where I would say, let's not waste our money drawing the plans if the seismic project is not going to move forward. But, the architect's doing his job, which is to work on proceeding towards compliance in all areas of the facility.
So in other words, at this point, you're just saying to table it until we see what happens.
Well, we could either table it or we could approve it to be awarded in the future. I don't know. Whatever anybody wants to do. I don't have a great burden. We can table it for now. So
I think we'll forget about it in a couple months. So maybe it's best just to table it down. You bring it back to us when
we can do.
you're ready to move forward.
All right.
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, let's put it this way, if the architect says, well, no, we really got to get this done by a drop dead date,
Bring it back.
then we'll bring it back to the next meeting after. All right.
Gene, are you okay with tabling it? Item
Yes,
F?
as long as our table don't get overloaded.
All right.
When we were doing this.
Okay.
Item G, the fire
Okay.
inspection agreement. And Director Clark did have a comment about this with.
Okay.
I just had a question. Due to the dollar amount, does it need to go out to bid?
Okay, so that's probably a question more for Scott, but let me explain. So there's a requirement for hospitals to test all of their fire dampers every 6 years. And we have used the same company for years after years. And so the same company did it for us 5.5 years ago. I mainly brought it here at this time because we're not in a rush, because it needs to be done in 2026, early 2026 to be in compliance. But I wanted you to be aware that this is a requirement. It is a substantial amount of money, but there is really no choice. It has to be done. It's one of those things where every 6 years, every fire damper, and I forget how many there is. 300, yes. 300.
That's what it says.
At $55.
I just counted yesterday.
Yeah, we got little labels on the ceiling where they're all at, so you walk along.
Perry was running cases through.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's little holes in that. I figured that.
Yeah, well, the Louvre is a great spot for cables to go through.
I got an idea.
Anyway, so I just brought it here so that you understand it's not a project. It's not really part of building and planning, but it's a substantial outlay of money. And we can query Scott to see whether.
Well, it's 20,000, it's not 25,000, right?
25 is the cutoff.
But this is 20.
Public bid.
So we're under the.
So we're under the threshold. I mean, I can get it clarified with Scott. That's not a
Not
problem.
gonna
As long
As we had clarification, we're good, so be it.
Yeah, well, right, and so, you know, but
Every 5 years, you gotta do
it is a firm that we've been using ongoing since before.
I do the same, risers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have a series of binders on my bookcase that for the different years that it's been done.
How much did it go up versus the last time?
Believe it or not, it only went up like $1,500.
So they're not gouged.
We're not getting gouged, yeah.
I was actually surprised that it came in almost identical to what we paid 5 years ago.
Is it 25 or 20?
25 is the cutoff for public bid, so this is 20.
I mean, I'll get it clarified with Scott 100%.
Does board want to table this or?
I have no problem with the item. It just needs to make sure that we're in compliance. Okay.
I'm 100% sure it's 20.
Yeah, I mean, I can bring it back next month or something if you want me to just get clarification from Scott. I'm bringing it in early because
Because it gives us time.
it's a sign.
And like I said, I have no problem with the dollar amount. If we're under that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Can you amend your motion to say approve if Scott says okay?
Sounds good to me.
Then I'll second.
All right.
By Director Clark and seconded by Director Elliott. Any other discussion? Okay.
Yes.
Director Klein is a yes. Director Clark?
Yes.
Director
Yes.
Elliott? Director Parks?
Yes,
Okay, and I'm a yes. That is done. The next one was the SNF reclassification.
So this is. What I gave you is I gave you the history. Okay, so we asked the architect to do the initial study and submit the initial study to HCI. So that is what's on page 14. That was the initial proposal and that work has been completed. Then I circled on page 15. At the completion of the HCI meeting, Greenbough Design will submit a fee proposal to complete the remainder of the process. And so then page 17 is HCI's response to the original submittal, which says, please provide project drawings even if the design team considers it a no construction project. So we still have to submit drawings even if there's no work to do. Gotta love HCI. And so that's their response. And then the page 19 is actually the actual questions that came from HCI back to the architect. He wanted someone to read. And then so on page 20 is the proposal for the second phase of this from our architect to draw these plans and that HCI is requiring. And anyway, so it's a fixed fee of $24,610 for the work breakdown. This is the thing that I believe we should proceed on, that we should try and get SNF classified as SNF.
And this is the one that we think Aspen.
Yes, Aspen Street Architects
years
that
ago.
screwed up the original submittal.
Oshpod 1 acute to Oshpod 2 for skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one would be something
Yeah,
that
my
needs to
choice.
be done so we don't run into the same problem later and then do
Yeah.
cost more or.
Oh, it'll definitely cost more next.
20 years from now, when somebody else is sitting in your shoes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
$50,000
Yeah,
thing.
we need hopefully sooner than 20 years.
So we have a motion to approve this one by Director Clark. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Elconin.
Yeah, I think we can hold off on that other set of drawings for a little bit related to the seismic upgrades of dietary surgery. But this one, I believe we should proceed on.
Okay.
That's my recommendation. All right.
Director Elconin, your vote?
I mean, yes.
Yes. Elliott?
Yes.
Director Parks?
yes,
Was there anything else on the pharmacy upgrade, Bob? That's also on the agenda.
Well, that's, yeah, no, I pretty much covered it under the update. Like I I said, it's starting to take shape in there. I got another 1 or 2 trailer loads of furniture to get over to storage, hopefully later this week, just to get it out of the way.
Before Nathan puts that wall up.
Yes, before we finish the last few feet of the wall so we can get it out of there. But anyway, so yeah, it's really starting to take shape. I think it's gonna be a very nice.
Yeah. We were joking around this morning in governance, the line going out the door, there was Mr. Taco truck has been
Moved up.
down there a couple of times.
Have
People
they?
go-
There
go
you
get
Oh,
go.
that's
tacos
great.
and then-
All right.
So-
Yep.
We'll see the other pharmacies do that, so.
Gotta keep the customers happy.
You're gonna get snatched.
We should lease that little area out to all the food trucks. Have a band playing at
Whatever's
noon when the
needed.
pharmacy's
I'm
closed.
to leave and play music. in it.
Yeah. You know, we got that whole empty lot next door. We could do a
That's
whole
right.
food truck area, everything.
That's right.
Yes.
That one is 114.
Okay,
System.
and the next item was the rolling shutters for the retail pharmacy. This is page 23.
Yeah.
26.
Now, I had included I only had the one proposal.
So close to, it needs to be.
Well, since then, we've been working on getting additional quotes. And so we have 4 quotes. I have to say that my assistant did most of the legwork on this, so.
Okay, Monica, let's hear from you.
Yeah. Tag you. She's been a great help. Anyway, so they vary from $20,836.84 to $37,050. The 3 of the quotes are literally $29,397 through $37,000. The Roller Shield one that I included was the first quote I got, was $29,397. In looking at the proposals and going online to their websites and various things, this company called Rolock, which is the low bid at $20,836, it appears to be a little more of a residential quality security shutter. Now, that when I had approached Roller Shield, they wanted to know, did we want the light duty residential ones for like your vacation house, or did we want commercial shutters? And we had said commercial. And so I think the 3 bids are really for a commercial grade, and Rolock is
Just a lighter grade.
a little bit lighter grade steel. I mean, they have this cute video that you can watch where they take a sledgehammer to it, beat it up, and they managed to bend it pretty good.
All comes down to the install.
Let me call you back, Derek.
Like Elon throwing his hammer at the Tesla truck.
Yeah. So now would the low bid provide us with security? Yeah, it would. Now, obviously, with the dollar amount of these, this is a capital. So at least I'm assuming that we would put together a capital request that would go to the next board meeting or something. And, but I wanted to just discuss the pros and cons that I see of them. I mean, I like the Roller Shield product is top notch.
What's your lead time?
They haven't given me that. Did you get an answer from any of them? Yeah, I didn't either.
Hey, Bob, I have a question. The dollar amount puts us over the limit of what we can exceed.
Yes, but that's why this would not be part of the project.
Okay, so this is gonna be a separate
This would be a
project.
separate project down the road,
Okay,
where the way I see it, okay, we would have to open it without security.
okay.
Okay. Run the risk that somebody could,
Yeah.
throw a rock through this window and stroll in there. This would have to be a separate project because obviously I've already spent about 4,000 in materials. I've got about 4,000 in labor. And I have probably I'd have to go double check, but I'm gonna have probably $8,000 worth of carpet.
Okay.
And a few other odds and ends. So I'm okay on the project,
Okay,
but I can't.
but not if this is
Not
included
if
in
this
it.
is included. So this can't be part of the project. This has to be down the road. We've moved in there and it's like, okay, let's add security to this building.
Wondering if we should have Sue to reach out to the Board of Pharmacy, because if this is gonna be like a deal breaker for us being able to open or for them to license it, not having it put security.
Well,
Because if drugs have requirements about double locks and different things that,
and I agree that she should. But I can tell you the one that's gonna open in town at the end of this week doesn't have any security on the windows.
Inside, they're putting bars
So
into
they're
it.
putting bars inside.
Yeah, I just worry that, I mean, with as much money and drugs is in there and having controls in there and
Well, you know, there's
Just,
here's the
debating
challenge.
somebody.
I can't provide security on these windows as part of the project.
Right.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So, now, you know, if Board of Pharmacy says that you must, then, you know, this will have to be it has to be a separate project. That's all there is to it.
what if we could put security down there in the meantime at night or something?
Like a fire guard. or
Yeah, something.
If, can't we just, at some point, pull the trigger and say, okay, this now exceeds that threshold. We'll put the remaining work out to bid, pay the prevailing wage and be done with it.
Well, that's a possibility, but stop and think about it too. I installed the iron bars on the existing pharmacy. We didn't have it.
Okay,
None of those windows were secured. I mean, yes, we had a break-in, but we had an alarm system that alarmed and notifies if somebody had broken in and the person was caught. So having a security system in this new pharmacy is an absolute must.
The double lock that you're talking about, they could have that inside the building.
right.
Yeah.
But just making sure that all those
Agreed.
precautions are taken.
Right, yeah, yes. So I think it wouldn't hurt to query with Board of Pharmacy. But I believe that if we have security system in the building, it probably, I'm saying I'm not a Board of Pharmacy specialist, but I think that would meet the requirement for that, but we need to find out.
But will you be a board security after this for the pharmacy?
Probably.
With all this information you're learning? You could be qualified in that too.
I could
So-
become a consultant.
Good. I have a question.
Too late.
So how many of these rolling shutters are we looking at?
It's,
Because I noticed there's several different sizes,
Because you have the front door.
right?
Front window.
okay, so you have,
The whole building?
so you have 5 windows across the front,
Okay,
4 windows down the side, and both front doors.
okay. So it's the whole building,
Yes.
not
No,
just,
just Sweet's DNA.
Just D&E.
oh, just any, okay.
Yes.
These
Oh,
all the
there's-
exterior or the interior?
Exterior. They roll up into a thing at the top,
Yeah.
you know, so they're basically invisible.
is there a connection between the other 3 suites and these 2? Okay, so it will be
There's a
standalone.
solid wall carrying all the way up to the structure above.
Hey, Bob, can I ask a
Yes.
question about the storage? Will they continue to need those connexes or storage units down where they're currently at?
Maybe not where they're currently at, but they're gonna need some additional storage. This new area is not large enough to store everything. Yeah, okay, you have to understand that there's 2 connexes there, or 2 C trains. One of them is the pharmacy, and in there they have records and odds and ends and old pieces of equipment and stuff. The other one is the hospitals. And in there, we've been storing all of these things that were given to us by the county, masks and, you know, everything for, and now it's about half empty, but we're now having to dispose of that stuff that's been left over from COVID. So, but
So we
will-
could move them to one of our other spaces, like across from where you're sitting, if we needed to. If we did something with the other building.
Put it halfway between this building and the new building.
Well, obviously we would probably want to relocate them somewhere. I mean, we haven't decided what we're going to do with that building once we move out.
Are you saying, Gene, that you have room at your house to set them?
Actually, I was gonna buy
You
them
drive,
if they empty them
you
up.
drop them tomorrow.
You're welcome. Help you.
Right.
I mean, push come to shove, if we really felt we needed the additional storage, we could probably make a deal down the road at the storage facility where we actually rent some spaces, that they have some open space in the middle. They might allow us to move them there and set them there. And then we can access them as needed. I don't know. Those are all possibilities. I mean, I know, Gene, you don't like the looks of them there.
Well, behind the new place where Debbie has across the street there, the old building, next to the permanent building, they could probably fit in there. And they wouldn't be visible to speak of.
I'm not understanding which building.
Where Debbie has his, the old house.
Oh. Find that. There's no room because we wouldn't be able to access in there with a truck for moving in and out records that are stored in the building. The garage behind.
Okay.
Probably get the art association and put murals on.
Yeah, we could paint them pretty.
Kind of cool.
You know, they probably would. Just saying.
On the shutters.
Anyway,
You say, do you want to go back to finding out lead times from each vendor and
yeah, we can double check a little bit more information, and then maybe it can be presented as a CER request, a CER for the next board meeting or something.
just bring it back to us so we know what we're looking at?
Yeah, we can query each of them to say what's the lead time, once the order is
These numbers
finalized.
include installation.
No. That's us installing and running the power too, because
They're all power units.
So the way these would work is inside you would have a switch, and most of them would all motor shop. And then when you went out the last door, there will be a high security key switch that motors the one down over the last door that you leave.
So it's on the outside?
Yeah, yeah. That's what they've proposed anyway. It's a vault.
It's in the mall. That's what you see in those shops in the mall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, there's just a small little unit that runs them down, raises them back up.
Okay.
So I will get a little more information and we'll hopefully have a complete proposal. I don't know what you feel about going with the lighter duty ones that save $9,000. $1,000.
Brings us under that threshold though.
Is it 9,000?
Well, the lowest
Well,
bid
the
is
total-
20,000.
The total cost is.
Yeah, total cost of the project.
The next one up is 29,000.
Seem like this place where we should be.
That's,
I wouldn't think so either. I would think that,
Yeah.
Yeah, because the lower cost one was probably work until it didn't.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, and the next two bids is 29,397 and 31,905. They're very, very close.
Yeah.
And then Southern California Rolling Shutter, they're a little more proud. They want an additional 5,000 or 6,000.
And leave their name on it.
Yeah.
Now, the next question is, what's it gonna cost you to run the electrical?
All this worth of wire.
How much
That's-
labor?
Bob, is there,
The labor, we can run the electrical for them in like 2 days.
Okay.
Bob, is there any alternative? Do they make windows that are more secure, that would look normal, that wouldn't have to be operated, that could be secure?
It would probably cost more money, but yes, we can, I've installed Lexan windows that are basically unbreakable.
Yeah, Alexa, yeah.
But I can tell you that just to replace that one glass window that they got graffitied was $2,000. And we have 5 of them. So,
As soon as they engrave on them, they're toast.
yeah,
Welcome to Lexington.
So the nice thing about these on the exterior shutters covering them up, nobody can rip those windows.
How are they gonna, the appearance, how are they gonna look?
Like, kind of like a roll down garage door.
I
You
know,
ever gone to a shopping mall where they have the steel door?
as
at the
far as
front?
building, as far as how it will show the appearance of the building when it's closed.
It'll look like a
Looks
vault.
secure, yeah.
It'll look like a garage, like a roll down garage door. It's like 2-inch wide, metal rails.
So it's gonna be on the outside? I thought it was gonna be on the inside.
No, we talked the pros and cons.
Okay.
Okay, so the advantage of putting it on the inside is that it doesn't change the look of the building at all.
Correct.
But then what happens if somebody says, well, I'm gonna see if I can break this window anyway, but then find out once they broke the window that there's a shutter on the inside. Now we gotta replace another $2,000 window. So it doesn't, on the inside, doesn't really give you the appearance of security. If you have it on the outside, you have the appearance of security because that's all they're going to see.
But it's ugly.
It is when you have that many
Yeah.
units. It's not the-
Well, but every day they're gonna be up.
But when you drive by, it's gonna be ugly.
We'll get that mural.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a bird. They'll make them either way. These prices are for exterior. We can approach them and say, if we were to choose to put these on the inside, is there a difference in price?
How intrusive is it inside?
Well, again, they only stick out about that far.
And the drum is up.
The drum is at the top, it's up by the ceiling.
Most of the dwellings are usually 12 by 12 or 12 by 15.
Yeah, I have a rolling door on my garage at home and rolled up, it's about 12 inches in diameter.
Yes.
Bob, you'd be almost better off to put your bars on the inside. Wouldn't be that visible.
That was originally what I proposed, but I kind of got shot down on that. I don't know that the price would be that much less.
I don't know who would have shot you down for changing it to that, because like my friend said, it will be ugly. We want a decent image of what we are.
Bars will be just as ugly. That's right.
Well, I mean, we can take a little more time and I can get proposals to have them on the inside. I mean, that way it doesn't change the look of the building at all.
Yeah.
Nobody
Still have-
working inside there is gonna really be concerned about something.
Someone can
At the
still
top
break
of the window.
glass. I mean, it gets back to the same arguments we had before. Someone can still break the glass because it's not gonna see the bar at night or whatever. And
Yeah,
so you're
but
right back to replacing it. It's gonna be harder because now you got to permanently affix bar that you gotta take off there stuff. I mean, there's pros and cons each way.
I mean, I'm open to whatever everybody wants to do. I have no burden.
Ever get pictures of what? Just to on.
I didn't bring
We have cut sheets on.
them.
Yeah, that way you could like kind of visualize what it would be.
Yeah.
We're all probably imagining.
I have some sitting on my desk.
I'm imagining an industrial area look,
That's correct.
you know.
We're not an
and
industrial
We don't
area.
want, I don't want that.
We're on the
for-
main
For
boulevard.
that.
Well, maybe
that
we can
building.
get the doors wrapped with some sort of advertising.
One slab.
Catherine now comment for mayor. So
I thought, yeah.
Works
for me. It keeps me up.
They slip.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I'll just advertise right along.
How about this? How
Bob,
about
could you,
let's
could
try to
you
have
do-
some kind of photos to go with it.
could you,
And let's get a bid on bars, interior bars. This way.
I'm not even interested in bars. I have no problem with being solid on the inside as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that if we have something that's more appealing, not only to us, but to the public eye, still means a lot to me.
Sure.
Bob, could you possibly, you're pretty good at design stuff, and I'm not, I don't know, even understand it, but you could give us a visual of what it would look like both ways on a computer.
Pace would be fine.
well, just to maybe add more work to Bob's already super light schedule.
Yeah.
Should we get a quote for the more industrial glass that's just gonna look clear? That might be. I mean, that's the most beautiful
I'm not a fan of
design, I'm sure.
I mean, I've had many wet sand interventions in my time. It did not work well at most of my facilities. Once anyone comes up and does any type of graffiti, scratching, anything, it's permanent. You're not walking up and polishing it out. It doesn't.
Yeah,
work.
the disadvantage of any sort of acrylic or polycarbonate is it's much easier to scratch than glass.
Oh, without doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it is fun to watch somebody hit it with a hammer because that hammer can flying out of my.
I buy our acrylic and stuff from Bakersfield Plastic, and I was in there one time and he says, you want to know the difference between polycarbonate and acrylic sheet? And so he took a small piece and he laid it on his carpeted table where he does his work. And he handed me a hammer and he says, hit it. So I hit the acrylic and it just shattered.
Yep.
And then he put a piece of polycarbonate on there and I hit it and nothing happened. He says, no, you need to hit it hard. And so I swung at it as hard as I could and it didn't even make a mark on it.
Yeah,
But you can still scratch it. Polycarbonate is amazing, but it would be, my suspicion, extremely expensive.
it is.
Okay, so general consensus is for Bob to bring this.
Bring back some actions.
Yeah.
And some time.
We like them pretty, obviously.
Pretty.
You know, they make some really pretty ones, but they won't come in at this price.
Yeah.
They make ones that are like lattice work, that are stainless, that are, you know. It's just all.
Sure.
Grab those old wrought iron ones, whatever, that look like little diamond when you
Yeah, they're
straight out. Yeah,
Those are cool.
they are
It worked
cool.
great on your fingers too, by the way.
They, yeah. Yeah,
I worked at a hospital where we had an elevator that had that.
yeah.
Right in the world.
The Titanic.
Say it out loud.
I know.
All right, so I will come back with some additional stuff.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We already went over the two invoices, those. So with that, we're actually adjourned at 1:58 p.m.
Yes.
Good, that's good. Because he needs this building at 2:30. So you got.
2:30.
minutes.
Right.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob's gonna get a price on carbon fiber.
I was sitting there and I walked.
Probably it's 100,000.